Hi, and welcome to my Message of the Week program. Today I wanted to talk to you about managing behavior. And whenever a parent calls me and tells me about a problem that they're having with their child, quite often it comes down to they're trying to control the child as opposed to managing behavior. And as human beings, regardless of age, nobody really wants to be controlled. So it really creates an adversarial situation, which then raises the level of stress, creates fighting, and just isn't fun for anybody involved. So whenever I'm working with a child, I'm never going to control them. I'm just going to manage their behavior. And so I wanted to talk to you today about some examples and how you can start doing this as well. Let's use the example, it's time to do homework. So you're home and hey, we're going to be eating dinner in a couple of hours, so you need to sit down and do your homework so it's done before dinner. Right? Child sits back and says, no, I don't want to. Maybe they're watching TV or maybe they're playing. They just don't feel like doing it. Whatever the reason is isn't important. At that point, then your conversation turns into negotiation. Then it might turn into arguing. Then it might just turn into a plain old fight. And then you've got the standoff. You're going to sit down at this table, or you're going to sit down right now and you're going to do your homework. So at that stage, you've now gone and started to try to control the person. And as human beings, our natural instinct is to resist that, right? We don't want to be controlled. When I'm working with a child, what I'll do is I will try to manage their behavior and not control the person, which ends up giving us a much better and less stressful result. So an example with that would be if it's time to do their homework and I get the no, I don't wanna, instead of saying, well, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna do this, what I do is I paint the picture of, well, what's gonna happen next? So I'm telling them that what you're choosing is the wrong or the bad answer. I want you to make another choice, right? So I'm allowing them to do and behave how they want to, but understand that there's gonna be consequences. So again, going back to the homework example, it would be, well, if you choose not to do your homework now, then you can't watch any television because we only watch television after our homework is done. So at that point, then I'm giving them that option to change their mind. So let's sit down and do our homework so that you can watch TV a little bit later. And you'll get a percentage of the time that the kids will cave in and go, well, okay, right? It's not going to work 100% of the time. So then at that point, they're still going to get a, no, I don't want to. Well, okay, if you choose not to do your homework, you're not going to be able to watch any television, and you're going to go to bed right after dinner. So that at that point, you're going to get another percentage of kids that are going to cave in. And hopefully at this point, it's going to be, maybe as high as 90% of the time that both of those steps work. Occasionally, you might have to go to a third step, but generally that's going to be pretty rare in that instance. The kids basically are just trying to test the waters, and once they see that you mean business, they're going to fall in line with what it is. With older kids, kids in their teens, you can start making the consequence a little bit longer. Well, if you choose not to do your homework, you're going to get a 0 on the assignment. And if you get a 0, you're going to get a bad grade in your class. And if you get a bad grade in your report card, then you're not going to be able to do this over the next month or until the grade comes up or over the summer. So teenagers can start to understand longer consequences. Kids that are basically 9 years or younger, you want to keep them pretty immediate. So the consequence needs to be the same day, possibly the next day at the latest. Anything longer isn't really gonna resonate with them. They're not gonna really understand that connection. So hopefully you can start to see that instead of controlling the behavior, you're gonna do this or else, right? If anytime you catch yourself saying or else, boom, red flag should go up and right away start going, oh, wait a minute, I'm trying to control you. And so at that point, start to backtrack as best you can if possible, or if not, just do the best that you can with that situation. But as you practice this a little bit more, again, it becomes a skill, and you try to elevate this skill to an art form with being unemotional. Sometimes parents will see me working with the kids here, and they'll see me just walk away from a kid in the middle of something. Right? And on a rare occasion, it'll be like, wow, he really doesn't care. And in fact, it's the exact opposite. I care so much that I'm going to keep working with this child until they get it. Right? But there's going to be these circumstances and processes, and they're going to do it this particular way. So by managing the behavior, right, I don't have to get emotional. I don't have to get stressed. I don't have to yell and scream. Right? I can just tell them that this isn't the right behavior. Right? And so then at that point, if this isn't the right behavior, this is what I want. If you choose to do this, then there's going to be this consequence. Right? If you choose to do this the way we want to, well, then there's going to be this great consequence. So by being able to paint those pictures and give the child options, they're going to understand, they're going to fall in line a whole lot quicker, and hey, you're going to be a whole lot less stressed. It's kind of a win-win situation, and that's always what I strive to make whenever I'm working with a child. So try to manage behavior, don't control the person, catch yourself and remove or else, right? Ultimatums, any of those final things as best as you can. And you'll find that there's a whole lot less stress in the house. You'll find that everybody's a whole lot happier and pretty much getting along most, if not all of the time. All right. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach me. You can call me, email, stop by the karate school. I'm happy to give you any specific examples if you have a situation that isn't quite working for you, or you're wondering how to apply this managing the behavior. I'm more than happy to share my thoughts and feelings, and I'll talk to you next week. See ya.